Monday. And this is routing and switching. First thing we did in class was we did some work with wiring. We did some measurements and so forth in order to do a Tech 10 wiring project. Alright. Then did some network troubleshooting, we did some ACLs. We looked at examples of DHCP but did not get to NET. So we took a look at access control list, access control entries. So for example, we took a look at this access list. So match, and then 15, we took a look here. These bits will be ignored, and these bits will be looked at. Okay, so we talked about wildcard mask, and then how in an access list comes to the first on the list. If it's a match, it does what it says here. If it's not a match, it goes to the next item in the list. Access control entries. We can have a lot of them in there if you need to. Later on we'll talk about the order is important if you start getting a lot of access control entries in your access control list. Okay? So then we did an example. The students blocked addresses so that coming from this address couldn't get into their routers, and coming from this address couldn't get into their routers. Okay, we did a little more work on our setups. Multi-layered switch, layer 2 switch, PC. We tested pinging out, and then they put control list here to stop a certain network from up here being able to get into their router. So what we added was a standard access control list. And so that was what we used for the first lab. And then on Wednesday, we're going to work on controlling access VTY lines. Okay. Last thing we looked at was DHCP, and here it's in the layer 3 switch in this example. If you notice, here are addresses that are excluded. We can give a range rather than one address. And then here is a pool, and here is another pool. So, for example, in this scenario, when a broadcast comes in from a particular, for example, VLAN, that VLAN, because of the switch virtual interface, that VLAN's on a certain network. And so when that traffic comes in, it knows what network, so it knows which, for example, if it's coming in VLAN 10, it knows to get an address from this DHCP pool. comes in on VLAN 20, it'll get an address on this pool. And you could have multiple ones of these, depending on how many VLANs you have. And then if you notice here, gets an address from here, gets the default gateway, and DNS. Make sense? Yeah, we're gonna cover some specifics on DHCP on Wednesday, and actually configure it. And that's it.